Hey everyone, this is Oddheader narrating this video for Matt J. And today we'll be discussing drag racing in Gran Turismo 2. It's true, Gran Turismo 2 was originally going to have a drag racing mode. However, due to the game being hastily finished to meet its release deadline, Gran Turismo 2 was never finished the way the developers imagined, and the drag race mode was unfortunately one of the casualties of this. Even though we would never get to enter a drag race on Gran Turismo 2, we can look at the leftovers and try to piece together what exactly this cut mode of gameplay might have looked like. Let's start with the cars. There exist 3 cars on Gran Turismo 2 which look like they were intended to be primarily used on the drag racing mode. First, there are 2 HKS cars, the HKS Drag 180SX and the HKS R33 Drag GTR. The 180SX is unlocked from the 3rd race in the Pacific League, held at Laguna Seca, while the Skyline is one of 3 random prize cars unlocked from the Tuned Turbo Car Cup. Given that there's no drag racing mode in the game, these cars actually have little purpose now. They may be reasonably fast in a straight line, but their abysmal handling makes them useless options for most races. The Tuned Turbo Car Cup does have a race at the test course, however, and you might find that these cars come in handy here. You may even face one of them as an opponent. The 3rd car that would have likely found its place in the cut drag mode is the Dodge Intrepid. At least, the racing modified version of the car. To be honest, it doesn't behave like either of the 2 dragsters, as its emphasis is more on handling than straight line speed. In fact, it has a rather low top speed as standard, though this can be improved by modifying the gear ratios. It's an all-around decent FF car, but certainly looks more like a dragster than it drives. So we have at least 3 vehicles intended for drag racing, but what about a course? Surely we need a drag strip to race down. For a long time, the cut track Plum Strip was assumed to be the one and only leftover of a drag strip on the game. The name Plum Strip, misspelled as Plum Strip, can be seen in the game's intro on the arcade mode disc, along with another supposedly cut track, Eager Path. However, recent research has discovered that the Plum Strip was originally the original name for Apricot Hill Raceway. A wireframe of Apricot Hill found on an SCEE press disc of Gran Turismo 2 had the name Plum Strip next to it. So that's 3 pre-release names for Apricot Hill: Plum Strip, and Plum Strip. Actually, on several demos of Gran Turismo 2, it's also referred to as Parma 2. So make that 4 in total. However, you can at least see the similarities between Plum and Apricot. In fact, lots of the game's tracks had their names changed during development, and we can see this by looking at their file names on various demos of the game. Tahiti Road was originally named Tahiti Beachside, Rome was originally named Roma, Rome Night was originally named Roma Night Drive, Tahiti Maze was originally Tahiti Dirt Route 2, Tahiti Dirt Route 3 was originally Tahiti Safari Course, and Pikes Peak Hill Climb and Downhill were originally named North American Roadway. Eager Path is believed to be an early name for Grindelwald. However, unlike the others, this has never been confirmed. To back up the theory Plum Strip was an early name for Apricot Hill, one of the license tests on the European version of Gran Turismo 2 still mentions Plum Strip in its description, and the license test takes place at Apricot Hill. In the game files, the section of Apricot Hill that hosts this license test is named El Palm, with L being the prefix applied to all license test tracks in the game's files. By using cheat codes, it's even possible to race on any of these license test tracks, even El Palm. There is another cut license track which plays into the drag race mode story. However, its name in the files is L20, and although the course itself has no textures, the game's minimap shows a simple white straight line, which naturally looks like a drag strip. The course itself, even though we can't see it, is full of invisible walls, and it's not possible to actually reach the section of the track that corresponds to the outline of the minimap. What this course was intended to look like, we may never know. All we do know is that it was intended to appear in the license test, and that it was a single straight section of track. so we only have a handful of suitable cars and no course to race on. We wouldn't blame you if you thought that the drag race mode never existed on Gran Turismo 2 at all. Well, we have one last thing to show you guys. On the demo of Gran Turismo 2 that appears on official PlayStation Magazine's 27th edition demo disc, there exists a menu panel for a drag race mode hidden in the game's files. However, thanks to a code made by GPT Zen of GT Planet, we can see what it would have looked like. Sadly, attempting to start a race on the drag race mode just takes you back to the arcade mode main screen. However, we can see that we would have been allowed to choose a course in a car just like starting a normal race on arcade mode. While it may not be functional, we can at least assume from this that the drag race mode may have been an arcade-only mode, and that the dragsters unlocked on the Gran Turismo mode could have been made available through the use of the home garage. Thanks again for watching. If you want to know about more interesting discoveries or cut content in video games, subscribe and check out more of this channel, or come check out my own channel over at Oddheader. Thanks again for having me, Matt. Can't wait till next time. Stay tuned.